Hello, listeners. This is Sandhya. I am here to read Syllabus for Ancient Indian History for UPSC, SSC, and other government recruitment purposes. We will start with the first chapter, which is Sources to Understand Ancient India. So we will start from here. India has a rich cultural heritage. History is concerned with the development of civilization in the past. We must go back to ancient India in order to comprehend the present day India. However, historians face a daunting challenge in reconstructing its history and culture. Generally, the problem arises when it comes to the existence of sources and forms in which they are present. Historians rely on a large number of sources of Indian history to research the Indian people who lived in the past. Generally, the sources used for reconstruction of ancient Indian history are classified into three categories: literary sources, archaeological resources, and accounts of the foreigner historians and travelers. These sources have two significant limitations: availability and decipherment. Initially, it was the British administrative officers who first paid attention to ancient Indian history, but their objective was to meet their own administrative needs. For example, Sir William Jones in 1784 founded Asiatic Society of Bengal for learning, understanding, and publishing sources of ancient Indian history. Then Archaeological Survey of India was founded in 1861. This gave legal momentum to the search for archaeological sources. From there on, various types of sources are coming forth and their interpretations is becoming a more challenging job for the historians. Literary written sources. There are three major types of literary or written sources for understanding the interpreting ancient Indian history. They are religious, secular, and scientific. Some other kinds of literary sources are also included in this Sangam literature and travelogue of foreign travelers. Religious literature. The religious literature, though primarily religious in nature, throw lights on the socio-economic, political, and even the ideological aspect of the period. But religious sources need to be used with huge caution. This caution is primarily for two reasons. First, majorly of religious sources were passed down from one generation to the next through oral tradition. Secondly, religious literature were mainly written with the aim of providing guidance to the society with an idealistic approach. The religious literature includes the Vedas, Rigved, Samved, Yajurved, and Atharvaved. Sanskrit epics, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, the Purana, Dharmashastra, Aranyaks, Brahmanas, Upanishads, etc. Buddhist literature, Tripitakas, Sut Vinay, and Abhidhamma Pitak, Jatak stories, Deep Vamsa, Mahavamsa, Jain literature, Anga, Agamas, Cheda Sutra, Mool Sutra, etc. Secular literary sources. Alongside religious literature, India also created a large amount of secular literature throughout thousands of years of Indian history. The secular literature includes histories, As generally said or quoted in analysis by Western scholars, India was not unaware of history writing. Example, Raj Tarangini, River of Kings in Sanskrit, written by Kalhana. He was born in 1100 AD in Kashmir. Is considered also as the first book of history of India as per modern lines of historiography. Eulogies. These are highly refined literature concerning to a ruler, a noble, a saint, or a learned man intended to praise them and their deeds by court poets, also called as charans, bhat, poets. For example, Bhan Bhatt was a court poet of Harsh and has written the book Harsh Charitra. In this book, he praised Harsh. Similarly, Vikramanadev Charita, written by Bilhan, praised the king Vikramaditya and his various deeds. Epic and Kavya literature. Dharmas, poetry, epic, and other work of literature are included in this category. Here we find accurate details about the culture, economy, and sometimes polity of the particular age. Example, Mudra Rakshas was written by Vishakhadat. It is a drama that narrates how Chanakya and the Prime Minister of King Chandragupta wins over Rakshasa, the minister of the Nandas, to the side of Chandragupta. Scientific treatise. Ancient India was well aware of the scientific practices. As a result, a significant amount of scientific work were generated during ancient time. The scientific work in early centuries generally dealt with subjects like political science, economy, grammar, etc. In due course, several other subjects began to appear in scientific work such as agriculture, medical science, astrology and astronomy, mathematics, arts, iconography, architecture, etc. The Gupta era in particular saw the emergence of large number of scientific works in various subjects. Example, Aryabhatya by Aryabhat, Arthashastra by Kautilya, Ashtadhyayi by Panini, Brihadra Samhita by Varhamihir, etc. Sangam literature. We can learn about the early history of Southern Indian from Sangam literature. The term Sangam means assembly. 3 such Sangams are considered to be held. The poems of the Tamil poets were introduced in these 3 assemblies and is called as the Sangam literature. The poets themselves compiled these poems from different eco-regions in the southern India. As a result, these are mainly folklore compiled by urban poets. The literature is mostly a secular one and provides vast information on subjects like ancient ecology, modes of subsistence, society, etc. Foreign accounts. Ancient India attracts a large number of travelers from across the world. These travelers were strangers to the land. They owed no alliances to any of the region or to any of the king. As a result, generally the accounts of foreign can be considered as largely unbiased. They, being eyewitness to a large number of events in India, give us first-hand information to the subject they touched upon, etc. Example, Indica by Megasthenes or Record of Buddhist Kingdom by Fahian, etc. Archaeological material sources. Another type of sources to study ancient India as material archaeological sources: coin, inscriptions, sculptures and paintings, and ancient monuments. Archaeological remains are among the material sources. Inscriptions. After India came in contact with Persia, India came to know about the importance of art in stone. In India, the stone inscriptions were used to engrave king's instructions, laws, and outlooks of the public. These were also used to record the grant of the land of by the king. With same notions, the court poets also engraved eulogies by using such materials to make it immortal. Epigraphs. The earliest epigraph in India belongs to Ashoka, the Mauryan emperor. He issued 14 edicts to propagate his Dhamma policy. These were inscribed on rock, example Junagadh. Copper plates. Generally for land grants, the copper plates were engraved and issued to the grantee. For example, Sohagora copper plate informs us about the severe drought and measure undertaken by the authorities to tackle the problem of food shortage. Coins. The Mahajanpadas of ancient Indian mint the first Indian coin, the punch-marked coins known as Puranas, Karshapanas or Pana in 6th century BC. These include Kuntala, Gandhar, Kuru, Shakya, Panchala, Sursen and Saurashtra. Later, Maurya also punched marks their coins with the royal standard. The Indo-Greek Kushan kings introduced the Greek tradition of engraving portrait head on the coin. Kushan Empire massive coinage encouraged a large number of tribes, dynasty and kingdoms to issue their own coins. Generally, these sources came with added advantages because they generally do not degrade like the literature sources. If any alteration is made of these inscriptions, it is also easily identifiable. Ancient architecture and monuments. Early people found refuge in caves during the Stone Age. Agriculture, on the other hand, forced them to live on the plains. The settlements started developing after the Neolithic period. Initially, the houses of people were made of perishable material like wood and grass. As a result, we do not know much about them. But in due course of time, the scenario has changed. The use of burnt bricks started for constructing house for public building and monument. This can be seen dating back and Chalcolithic period. The architecture provides valuable information to study the past. Similarly, the literary sources, the architecture can be broadly classified into secular and religious architecture. Secular architecture includes granaries, warehouse, threshing floor, dockyard, man-made ports, sanitary arrangement like bathrooms and gutter, stadium, pavilion, palaces, fortifications and basins, etc. Religious monuments are the buildings that were used by people to express their satisfy their religious needs. Religious structures started showing up from the Mauryan period. These structures include chaityas, viharas, temples, etc. Sculptures and paintings. Sculptures. In India, we can find evidences of sculptures dating back to the Harappan period. Steatite, stone, terracotta, clay, lime, ivory, bronze, and wood were among the material used for making sculptures. Some of them were transformed into gods or idols and enriched in shrines. Some of them were made to adorn the walls of temple. Individual sculptures were also made for other purposes such as toys and entertainment. Paintings. The earliest example of painting art can be found in Bhimbetka rock shelter in Madhya Pradesh. Mesolithic cave dweller built them using colors and tools found in the natural world. From these rock paintings, we will learn about Mesolithic people's lifestyle, including their way of life, hunting practices, and flora and fauna in their surrounding. Then there are beautiful paintings, especially from Ajanta and Bagh. The world famous Ajanta paintings includes detail on religious philosophy, ornaments, spirituality, serenity, costumes, international tourists, and so on. Archaeological remains. People settled, work and construct institutions and physical structures. People leave the place when the situation becomes unfavorable. But region have some material remains that people have mistakenly left behind. Beads, pottery, faunal remains and domestic materials are only a few examples. Thus, in order to research Indian history in detail, one must rely on literary and archaeological sources, both of which assist us in forming a complete picture of ancient times. When literary texts are supplemented with archaeological evidences, historians may increase the scale of historical accuracy and reliability of their claim. Thank you.